As the saying goes, let no one else resist. The prince's face was immediately unsightly. The number of dragoons on his father's shirt. It's a symbol of identity. If it is less than half a pan, it can be turned into 5 pans. Kim Long, the god of death. You dress like that. It is absolutely not allowed to exist. It's even taboo. But now I give it to the worst. It is said that his position is now only under the emperor. Over 7 families and princes. Even the prince is no match. He doesn't understand at all. What does his father want to do? Yu Mincup here does not stop biting angry teeth. Now there must be this great power. Maybe he can be bigger than anyone else. Back to 2 hours. It is also considered to be 7. The emperor immediately spoke. The book is officially over. Get out of the royal city. Everybody get the order. Get down and get out. In the heart of the family, more respect threshold. But wait until the family is ready to leave. The emperor called back to the earth. Follow me. 388 Your Majesty. When you hear this, take a deep breath. Let the people of the tribe return first. And he nodded and followed behind the emperor. Just a moment later, they both went to the garden on top of their salary. The emperor first sat in the chair. Hands casually said, "This is where I play with my horse. There is no army here. Please sit down without questions." The most obvious thing is to sit down coldly. No need to put food on the table first. The guard next door saw this. The face doesn't shrink, takes a sip of cold air. This person is too much of a hindrance. But the emperor didn't care. Smiling and laughing at the best. Your name, I must have heard it soon. But this meeting is the first time. The first time I heard your name. It was reported by 3 of my children. At that time it said, the family has a strong military butler. Security doesn't have to worry. I don't give a damn. I want to grow this new family slowly. As for your power, I do not put it in my heart. It's just taking care of the housework and cleaning. Although Sao is limited label. It can't be big, can it? A little bit of a nod. The worst kind of rejection. Keep silent without a word. That's right, even if the Chinese live with it. Probably for the lost and the people. I think this one will be taken lightly at first. From there to let loose. The emperor could not laugh and continued. But then in the Ming city, the fact that you killed a demon is a surprise to me. There was only one thought in my mind. The way is the 3rd star of the universe. Yu Mincup of energy. How to die in the hands of an anonymous teenager. From that moment on, I started paying attention to you. I'm afraid it was outside of me. There are also a lot of people who are interested in you. I am most likely reminded of that year. It's inevitable to be surprised. I used to be so humble. Slowly develop strength. To get fake paintings to look at them. But it happened that the fairies stopped burning. I can't help but face everything. There was a new order to search the empire later of Yu Mincup. Mess up all the steps. So think out. He doesn't seem as calm as he thought. Sometimes it's quite moving. But this kind of movement we love. It is also seen as a sign of weakness. It feels a little good. It's like understanding the thoughts in your heart. The emperor raised his head and laughed softly for an hour. You don't have to be upset about those 7. I know someone as patient as you. It's not going to happen so soon. It's like Kim will shine. Permanent sand can't hide the sparkle of the diamond. Even if you don't want to. This kind of thing is going to happen very quickly. It's the light of this gold. It's just blinding. My old eyes are about to be blinded. Ha ha ha. Laugh up at the sky for an hour. The emperor continued speaking afterwards. My weak heart just stopped. Not many months. I have heard that you have been dancing for a long time. Killed the elders of the 3 great families. This time it scared my soul. I want to balance the forces of the world. But because you're a little vain. I was thinking at the time. Should I give up on you? I think it's best to stand up a little bit. I'm sorry if that's the case. I can't believe my rudeness. It's a shame you wasted your life. Most likely, he looked at the king. I can't believe the emperor called me this time. Just say this shit. He seems to be speaking his mind. It's really causing trouble. Next, I want to see. See what he wants to play. The emperor looked at him. Laughing at me, ha ha ha. No matter what, it's all over. And since then too. I just found out the guy said no wrong. You are an amazing talent. If that's not the case, the king can be. The king of power can so cause such a large static. So when I measured it, I made a decision. To rush the poison. The old marshal came to the Lin City feng shui. You know why. Your grace of grace must be greatly appreciated. Most likely, he hurriedly bowed his head and said glasses. Slowly shaking his head, the emperor laughed mysteriously and said, Not because I'm lost. It's to protect you. Fear of the world. I am ashamed to admit it. The most aggressive shoulder patting. The emperor was not stingy and praised. Ha ha ha, you have nothing. I can't believe you have this power. Please also prove it later. Then I decided. It is true that hundreds of thousands of soldiers are protecting you. Your work has not made me 7. Most likely, he bowed his head without saying a word. A bit of a smug look. The emperor stared at him without letting go. Finally to the main problem. Sure. I invite you. There's one more thing to talk about. Your Majesty, please tell me the most firmly, bow your head. The emperor thought for a moment. He turned towards the Shentu. How do you feel about the position of Prime Minister? The body cannot shake. Probably in the heart of the sea of doubt, or look at him and say, Your Majesty, the empire doesn't have a family. The old emperor's eyes flashed. Laughing, the devil said, Ha ha ha, in the 3 great planets empire. You devil 7 is only good at scheming devils. Can't get outside. Impermanent though talented. But the narrow stomach is a little puffy. The Prime Minister is the best. He's been in jail for over 15 years. He's doing well, but he's old. Maybe. Except when I'm gone, there's a bunch of old people left behind. Stopped hands and feet of Sao descendants. It's not just that I didn't volunteer. Even the descendants are still alive. I am most likely to hear this word in the end. Then Ra is the king who wants to pave the way for his son. Most likely, the world is silent, waiting for him to continue. Staring at why. The emperor slowly continued. Give yourself away here. I can see your power. No Sand Chief. Even more so. Believe me, in the future you will be the head of the Four Pillars. Better than him. The Prime Minister will embellish the blissful meditation dance. I give you the title of the world. The First Butler. I want you to help me manage this country well. To say so sincerely, there is not a word in my heart. This man is not afraid of taking his mountain. Even though Sao Y is also the rule of heaven. He smiles devilishly if he doesn't say it. Think about here. He looked up at the old emperor and said, But your majesty, you know I have a soul in me. Leave me in the afternoon. Do not touch the seventh star. The word just ended. The emperor suddenly laughed and said, The dragon's land. It's just to protect Gypsy. Thousands of miles of space. The rain is good and the people of Tai. If not, why do we have to let the king of the defense? Shinlong City, they are not afraid to make their own. Winjiang Sun Ta Sao. And Hongfu Than Thin. It's not a body with a soul. Self-proclaimed destiny rules. Not to die in your hands. Ha ha ha. The future is in my own hands. God's children in the afterlife are arrogant and arrogant. How can we protect the universe for 9 days? Children live after trying. The frequency is quiet. Nature state people security count it full. So the way to save fate is nothing. If I believe, just sit and enjoy. Why bother so much? Are you right? Unconsciously frown the most likely to gently nod. The old man said it was reasonable that he could not believe it. Whether the emperor believed it or not, then you don't know. 389 for a long time. Most likely, I have the right to speak, Your Majesty. Let me think. It is also well thought out. But I really hope you can be loyal to the Empire. No subtitle of the world. The first steward I gave you. Slowly nod your head. The Emperor laughed and said, It's the same. Maybe a cold laugh is the same. What he said today, if it's fake, he should no longer be emperor. You should go make a picture. You to talk a little. The worst of the world bowed his head first. The emperor watched his back slowly recede, revealing a devilish smile. At this moment a wine-tearing sound. 2 old photo bodies appear. It is the Dragon Guard. Fuang Thursday White and Zi Maui. The 2 men turned towards the emperor. Then the Lord led the way, Your Majesty. The princess is safely back. This eternal life. Not even a moment left me alone. This time, if you are not sure, you will show up in time. Something big has happened to this head. Take a deep breath. The emperor on his face showed some luck. You can see how cute he is. Bai Feng also sighed a surprised breath and shook his head. I can't believe this shit. A few days without seeing him made me look with different eyes. His power is likely to overtake us soon. These two monsters. It's not just a monster. He is a sands merchant. Kim's martial arts style is really too dangerous. His eyes sniffed at the emperor unconsciously. The two men who saw it hurriedly exclaimed, "Your Majesty." The emperor waved his hand and ordered him to get the paper. The guard next to him bowed his head to take orders. Give the emperor a piece of paper. Above in turn write 3 names. Prince Vu Van Uncle, 2 Princes Vu Van Dung, and 3 Princes Vu Van Thong. Take a look at these 3 names. The old man's eyes were a little complicated. Finally say casually, the situation outside just now tells me. Especially the reaction of the 3 of them. The white man nods his head. Let the situation be clear to the emperor. For a long time. Grab a pen CHUSA. One by one, the prince's name. The emperor whispered. Old man quiet personality. Treat people like that. The fire admires Min's quality training. But why do you listen to that? Stubborn discord will surely bear fatigue. The two brave and kind people. I guess there's evil. He is a good friend to the enemy. Sooner or later, it was used as a beer. These guys can't do a big job. Finally, he stopped before the names of the 3 princes. Wait a little. Next to write on a question mark accordingly stop the pen. Your Majesty, this is the startled, not very clear. I shook my head. The old emperor spoke. I know you're looking for him 3. But these 3 sons of mine. It will take a while to observe. Especially this guy, I don't understand. If I don't make the way for them. I met a bad guy again. I will die without closing my eyes. The emperor's eyes were filled with sadness. He now expects these 3 sons of his. Even if it's a person, it's only good to have half a mind set. Then he can safely pass on. Another dimension. In a spacious architecture. On the sign inscribed with 4 letters of vassal. The front is full of people. It's like a festival in front of you endlessly. Whisper. Today I will definitely have to take a leap of faith. The unknown also wants to climb up into the lost raw also deserves. Most likely I just came back to see this. I couldn't help but be stunned for a moment and then scream. Get out of the way. Hear the scream. People are amazed. Looking back, I only saw the worst of all. Standing in the back, agitated screaming loud. It is the first land of the earth. When you hear this, everyone immediately gives way. The worst of them immediately raise their feet, straight into the government. The people behind kept screaming. The butlers took us in. Our family is loyal to you. Absolutely not satisfied. The butlers don't listen to him. Take me in. Our family is the best. Talking about strategy is great. Probably most impatient. Quick topographic permutation. In the blink of an eye go to the side. The leader spoke coldly. Stop them. The state leader nodded and grinned. Don't worry. No one can run in. Probably one way to the hall, where it's usually the same shit. The sea has some friends. The potential long. The sword and the sword have long been there. The most likely thing I saw was the prize. Hurry up and laugh. You must be back. People have been waiting for you for a long time. Most likely, he laughed for an hour and refused to comment. Enter the hall. Let the owners hold the right to speak. Sorry, that old man's mouth is talking too much. If you don't come back soon. Why did you wait so long? People's faces cannot shrink in this world. He called the king of heaven an old man. He said he talked a lot. Maybe only the butler is not afraid of the sky. Not afraid of this land. It's that feces are a little unnatural. Voice of rebuke. You can pay attention later and do nothing. Someone said that to the emperor. I don't want to live anymore. Why are you afraid of their owners going to denounce Sao? The best way to blink is to look at people. Laughing and laughing. Long-winded to hear this. Hurry to where ear clearly show which attitude is difficult. I'm sure you're joking and you can see it's true. Take a look at them a bit. Most people laugh out loud. In fact, the words of the people I speak. There's not much to pay attention to. But I'm not a fool who knows what to say. What not to say? I dare to be in front of you. Teasing the emperor, make sure you don't say raw. Like I told you that year. You helped me 15. Later, your family has become your biggest rock. It's less than 15 now. But the lost family was the only one. They can fight the emperor. If you are lost, do you still have a way to live? So now I'm very sure. You will not sell me out. I trust you the most, right? Most likely, suddenly laughing. Carrying each ray of insight. Long before they stop nodding. But in my heart I can't help feeling. Once the most powerful of all have the corresponding power. That regal airflow. It's actually scarier than the royal palace. And many impermanents. It's like understanding their minds. Probably laughing for an hour. They say people are not in a hurry. We're old friends in trouble. The lost will not do ungrateful things. You are different from that king. Behind us, you're perfectly safe. Don't be afraid after we grow up. It will be detrimental to you. Yeah, I can't see the owner. It's like wanting to calm the air. Like I really want to know. Probably open your mouth to ask. But the word just came out. People in the army in the blink of an eye. The face is a little unnatural. Again faltering without words. I can see their faces the most for you. Unconsciously squeezing what's going on. Maybe there's a problem. The army rushed to laugh and Khan said, hey ha ha ha. Maybe the butler doesn't have to worry about it. It's just a recluse, isn't it? In my eyes a little bit. Most likely, he looked at the nature of the army. in the heart unconsciously down to the retreat. The 100 years of Ming is over. Now is the time for the 8 most important paintings. Dear, what is the master's retreat? More, the unnatural face of the Red Army accused them. At this point, it seems that he is sure. She must have happened. The thought of this in his heart suddenly increased in anxiety. She was afraid. She wanted to keep asking. Don't wait for him to keep asking. The state leader came from outside screaming. Your Highness, 3 princes are coming. This word just came out. People can't help but jump. The dragons glanced at each other. In my heart full of passion. Prince, what is he doing here? Lamb high photo flaming. I remember the prince I met at the gate. Most likely, they will not fall into the trap. This man has just reaped. It gives him a very deep stomach feeling. It's kind of like a lake off the coast of Mars. But this time I was kind to them. Want to pull close to the relationship? I don't know. I'm sure there's a secret. Just look at the water. The people in the army pondered for a while. The time has come to give thanks to Track. The most common say, Butler. His Highness the Crown Prince personally came to pay his respects to the Lack family. There must be something secret to discuss. We are not convenient here. Please leave us alone for now. Slightly nodded, most certainly, clasped his hands and smiled. Thank you for your thoughtfulness. Bye. It didn't take long for everyone to leave. A loud, hearty laugh from outside. Ha ha ha, brother and sister. Your Duongbin Palace is so crowded. The outsiders almost sent. Even Vi brother can't get in. Accordingly, two figures brought along several entourages slowly enter. It was Prince Vu Van with 3 princes. Vu Van Thong. He glanced at the prince in front of him. It's cold in my heart. This guy really knows how to make a body. It's true that brothers with chubby love chung each other. Contrary to the indifferent attitude of the most ordinary, often lost, again draw Van High direction Vu Van ceremony. The prince lowered the price. Not welcome from a distance for forgiveness. The prince did not pay attention. I don't blame anyone for saying anything. My brother. After all, everyone is a family. Don't be such a stranger, call me the great CA. The devil saw him like that. I can't help but owe you a smile of appreciation. The prince is a modest, well-educated man. Being so friendly to others. Unfortunately, he thinks he's wrong. The outsider always smile and be friendly with others. Sometimes they're the scariest kind of people. This type of person shouldn't look at the outside and judge. Otherwise, he will be sold, I don't know. The prince came before his eyes. The best of all, he bowed his head. Housekeeper's license. Today you receive the title of the world. The first butler. He commands all the important things of the universe. Under 1,000 people. The glory is so great. Congratulations late for a lot of stuff. I know, come early next time. Probably the most. I don't care about this person either. His face was as cold as ever, nodding. This word just came out. Vu Van almost laughed out loud. The prince's face. It's still holding down and jumping out. On the right face? I have a good intention to congratulate you. What attitude is this? Do you believe me? Don't you stop me. I have to teach this boy a fight today. Take out your anger. Believe what you want to fight. Most likely, the eyes show a little evil, and then transform the right arm into a dragonfly. Put in front of the scares. Just saw this scene. Fan Pine Dance immediately poured the cold season, afraid to back off, laughing except. The prince over here saw the two of them joking. In my heart I can't help but feel. I don't blame his three brothers for being his brother. A guy who only knows how to be bossy. On the one hand, they want to appear to have no power, still trying to pretend to pull him along. In his heart, he thought so, but he was also clear. Most likely, what does it look like? He's not the one who's guilty right now. Laughing for an hour. Go to piece 3. I'm so sorry about that. The butler said no wrong. Don't measure anymore. Get the ladder down. Veuven waved his sleeves and said, I will forgive you for once. If there's a next time. The most likely is to refuse to give an opinion. The cold doesn't pay attention. The prince talked to everyone for a long time. Finally applaud the man who didn't bring it up. Follow his scream. Then someone brought a wooden bone. There are a lot of legs inside. There's also a sparkling object. Probably looking at the wooden box. Surprisingly, this is. The prince did not hesitate. Speak up to explain Lam Hai Mei flaming photo. The two wings of the sea heart were spied on by first-level beasts. This word came out and everyone immediately fell into fear. I am very good at using magic. Has an anesthetic effector. Even if the master has the strength of a primordial god. You will also be fascinated. Eat the gods and die. They can even attack the gods. It can be said to be the master's nightmare. Even in the upper world. Most likely, the human eye can't resist looking at the treasure. Who admires this Emperor 7? Of course, the rich owner. Accumulated thousands of years of celestial vu. A prince could take out such a precious gift. It's impossible to underestimate. The prince looked at the two most brilliant eyes of the world. Sad to nod and laugh. Track the butler. I know someone who used to have wings. But in the battle of the Ming dynasty. Unfortunately cancelled. I want to give you a special gift today. No reward. The prince gave this big gift today. I don't know what to tell you. Laugh softly for an hour. Most people do not believe that bread will fall from the sky. Speak up casually. Slowly shaking his head. The prince opened his mouth slightly, laughing. The butler is Mr. SA is the imperial talent. Later the power. I just want to join hands with you and the nation. There's really no other requirement. Hear this word. Probably the coldest. It is not for him and his family to support him. You speak so discreetly. It is so exhausting that he is silent and does not speak. I want to see what more he wants to do. The man next to him also kept nodding. The great CA has kindness. Where do you get it? So many thoughts. I'm not asking you to work for the universe. Nothing is too much. Being lost is a part of the universe. This shouldn't be bad. Take a look at Vu Van Thong for a moment. Most likely, his eyes widened slightly as he laughed for an hour. Not as if responding. This fat guy looks like he's advising the crown prince. Actually, tell the lost family to escape. Don't bind the prince's conditions. Although Stowe strive for heaven dance, it's not hard for the prince alone. The distance in between is very different. Then this fat guy is the real mastermind. I just don't know. The prince next door heard a strange smell in here. No, the prince's gift is a gift. The Koreans for a long time. The prince stood up slowly towards the people, saying, "It was fun to talk to the butler today. So we reported before. Most likely, they were happy to take him out the door." Smiling, he said, walking slowly. Just sent someone away, probably the most laughing. The prince didn't realize he was being sold because of the promise to work for the universe. Smiling unconsciously is stupid. It doesn't matter whether Sao, later this empire of AI. Not sure yet. But over here, 2 people have left the government not long ago. The prince suddenly embraced the power towards Vu Vanthong. Say 3. Thank you for coming with me this time. If not for the arrogance of the butler. Even if you are the prince, it is also difficult to contact him. Vu Vanthong slowly put on his hands. Don't notice the laughter. What did CA say? We are brothers. Of course we have to help each other. But the average person, it is not against us to associate with the lower. So why this time? The surgeon sighed. The prince shook his head. Brother, I thought you were willing to go against the will of your father. Associated with the house of Sao. Only 2 old fathers have been high recently. The settlement minus 1 year is not equal to 1 year. But the Lost and the Emperor, the 2 great families, felt like water with fire. It's easy to make the sky flutter and make your father worry. God, you should replace me. That's why we want to have a relationship with the Lost family. It is also possible to diffuse the conflict between the 2 sides. Return to heaven, a peaceful and prosperous world. CA is really for the people. Because the father gave his all, the younger brother really admired. Vu Vanthong holds the right to one. The look on the glasses says great CA. You have something to tell me later. I will definitely die without doing anything right. It is also considered as a benefit to you. Very steep for heaven and father. Praise nod. The prince patted him on the shoulder and said 3. I have this feeling, CA has been very happy. The 2 of you have half your heart. I think 3 brothers. We can actually do it to the point where we're brothers and sisters. When the advantage came, unfortunately. Great CA, not sad to CA early. I am late to understand your suffering. Vu Vanthong held the prince's hand firmly and said, I hope so. The prince opened his mouth. The sky looks good after all. Looking towards Vu Vanthong said, Okay, 3. I have to go back to the royal city. Help the father handle the dispatch. Let's say goodbye here. Vu Vanthong hurriedly hugged the right to nod his voice. It's hard work and apples die. If you say so, bring the centaur team. Heading in a different direction, leaving. Wait until the shadow of the back is gone. The smile on his face disappeared. It shows a little contempt now. Take out a towel. Clean up Vu Vanthong's hands. I hate yelling at this fat shit. It's disgusting. 391 private priests accepted. Not long apart. The prince went straight to a dark alley, waiting to go deep inside where there are 3 body image guides.